God bless everyone. I am April Angie Paden, the group leader of Group 2. Let me first introduce to you my group mates. Leniel Kate Husol, Sofia de Malapis, Ulysses Arellano, Johamen Romante, and John Miller Hitchenova. We are going to present Chapter 4 of the Republic Act number 8371, or also known as the Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997. It is an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities or indigenous peoples, creating a national commission on indigenous peoples, establishing implementing mechanisms, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. Chapter 4 is about the right to self-governance and empowerment of ICCs and IPs. Section 13 to 20 is under Chapter 4 and it will be presented by my group mates. Section 13, Self-Governance. The state recognizes the inherent right of ICCs or IPs to self-governance and self-determination and respect the integrity of their values, practices, and institutions. Consequently, the state shall guarantee the right of ICCs or IPs to freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. This section allows the ICCs or IPs to govern or control their area for any governments, whether it is economic, social, or cultural development, and it will be recognized by the state as their right.
In Section 15, it recognizes the right of indigenous peoples to use their own traditional justice systems, conflict resolution methods, and peace-building processes within Selang communities. This means that they can use their own ways of solving problems and keeping peace, like using their traditional courts or councils, having special groups to help people get along, and using their own methods to make things peaceful. It also allows them to follow their own rules and customs. This shows that their culture is important and that they should be able to make decisions for themselves. Importantly, this section acknowledges that these traditional practices are valuable and should be respected. It also allows them to govern their own affairs and resolve conflicts using their own methods, as long as these practices are compatible with the national laws and internationally recognized human rights.
God bless Ma. My name is Sophia Sidimalabis and I will be the one who will report about Section 16 and Section 17 of Right to Self-Governance and Empowerment. Section 16, right to participate in decision making. It means ICCS or IPS can have right to participate in decision making so that they can give their perspective about that decision, because after all, they also will be affected to that decision. They have also right to get a representative for their organizations about what they want to say about that decision, if they are agree or disagree, so that indigenous political structure will be developed. Section 17, right to determine and decide, prioritize for development. It means ICCS, IBS have right to decide what they want to say, to prioritize, develop their life, beliefs, institutional or spiritual well-being, and anything that they own, their well-being have right to decide what they want to do. But making decision, you have to prioritize first what will be affect your decision. If you will do that and make sure you will follow the policy, because any action or any decision you will do, there is a consequence. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
God bless everyone. My name is Joamin Romante, and for today's video I will be discussing the Section 18 Empowering Indigenous Communities through Tribal Barangays. Section 18 of the Indigenous People Right Act of 1997 focuses on the establishment of tribal barangays, a crucial provision that addresses the unique needs and rights of indigenous culture. Communities, indigenous people, ICC, IPs in the Philippines. The section recognized that ICC IPs often reside in concentrated areas or communities where they form the majority population. However, these communities are frequently located within larger administrative units like municipalities, province, or cities where they are minority. This creates a disparity in representation and control over local affairs. To address this, Section 18 allow ICCIPs to establish their own separate barangays, following the procedures outlined in the Local Government Code for creating tribal barangays. This empowers indigenous communities in several ways. Self-governance. By establishing their own barangay, indigenous communities gain greater autonomy and control over their local affairs, aligned with the principles of self-determination. Cultural preservation. Having their own barangay helps indigenous communities maintain their unique culture, practice, traditional, and language, fostering a sense of identity and continuity. Representation. It allows indigenous communities to have a stronger voice in local decision-making processes, as they can elect their own barangay official who understand their specific needs and concerns. Section 18 is a vital step toward recognizing the distinct need and right of indigenous communities within larger administrative units. It enables them to exercise greater self-governance and cultural preservation, contributing to a more inclusive and equitable governance system in the Philippines.
Section 19. Role of People's Organizations. The state shall recognize and respect the role of independent ICCs or IPs organizations to enable the ICCs or IPs to pursue and protect their legitimate and collective interests and aspirations through peaceful and lawful means. So, Section 19 addresses the role of ICCs or IPs organizations. It emphasizes that the state should recognize and respect these organizations as independent entities that advocate for the legitimate collective interests and aspirations in peaceful and lawful ways. Section 20. Means for development or empowerment of ICCs or IPs. The government shall establish the means for the full development or empowerment of the ICCs or IPs' own institutions and initiatives, and, where necessary, provide the resources needed therefor. So, Section 20 discusses the means for the development and empowerment of ICCs or IPs. It mentions that the government is responsible for providing the necessary resources and support to help ICCs or IPs fully develop and empower their institutions and initiatives.